After spending 7 years in the Fieldhouse, and this Fever offense has been swings. Clark on a step back.
Have size at every position over in
Time these two teams matched up, it was here.
Clark especially was blitzed a handful of times, and it's been
Jackson averaging 13 points per
break, and you can't let Kelsey Mitchell get going.
She's pulling away a big lead.
LA has
going to work on Stevens, and here is Stevens, who will launch.
Most teams.
Indiana with the defense. Lexi Hull going coast.
Not enough changes for this team career.
Here's Mitchell putting on the move. Hamby goes back to work, and the scoop shot. Clark, step back. There's Hamby, who will fire from 3 off
all the hard stuff. And August.
And Rookie of the Month and Player of P. Here is Nalissa Smith, fire away. Just 11th in the WNBA. A week ago today, they beat
Mitchell and Clark.
Awards, the coaching award.
It is New York, the top team in the league.
Back defensively as Smith
just immediately shut it off. She went right to back.
Kelsey, thank you, and for the franchise.
No question. She said 4, maybe 3. We're in the 6th spot in the play.
Odyssey Sims finds some space. Hesitation. Clark gets inside and be fighting through traffic. Flips it up. Shot won't. That's it. Here is Stevens on the roll up. Mitchell, catch and shoot, whistle there. Point signal being put.
Since the break, 100. It's amazing.
Mitchell leads all scorers with 7.
Still doing a really good job fronting Rakia Jack on the perimeter right now.
Indiana did. Here's Lee, your
post who can run off screen.
Clark fight through the entire defense. Oh, Mitchell. Jackson, nice foot. Comes Boston, flips her shoulder, and it's an off. Ray Burrell, who's just checked in. Clark stepping back on the baseline.
To her game as well.
Burrell attacking the baseline, and
Indiana has such a low-scoring first quarter.
Shots because of that turnover.
Relax just a tad. You're playing.
Clark will launch off balance.
Yeah, Connor McCaffrey sitting there next.
A good fortune here if you are a fan, and both playing in this building.
You can say that about the Indiana Fever.
Here in May, Clark 5 highest scoring, had more than that in a season.
To spend on all the numbers.
Bounce, Dantas charging inside line. There's Burrell through trap.
Players, Smith and Donji.
Mitchell, here is Nurse stepping back, launching, and she was here. She hit 5 threes. Smith denial, but on a
fast break opportunities.
Nurse stepping back and rattle
quickly. You got to move the ball
in the WNBA, so it's a little below
turnover margin. A +2 rebound.
Putting on the moves, Clark.
17 points a game.
Kelsey Mitchell as she steps into a 2. Right there with Ray Burrell and Kia Nurse.
Help Indiana.
Dantas over a double. Sims on the drive, draws the foul. He put together a fine evening. 10's
their average. Execute in the quarter court. And now transition, that's where Indiana can get you with some.
Trying to get this Indiana offense kick-start.
He's on the season.
And
home of the Imps. Same place as me.
Clark, good feed into Boston. Here's Azare again. Oh, do it.
D.
And Boston on the other end. Oh. Knocked down the.
And for Kurt Miller, and Executive of the Year in this league. Indiana play offensively.
Well, worth noting that from that perspective, there's Vegas a couple of times. They've got some impressive wins.
Go to LA's practice in the W because they work.
And Ray Burrell packing a punch off the bench. Backdoor cut, it's Mitchell.
Dribble right at Mitchell's defender. And what a tremendous.
Like 5 minutes here in the first half. 3 total points since the events. We haven't seen Christy Wallace.
Coming off the bench again. So she's a crazy woman.
All ping pongs around. Look at Lexi.
In the same sentence.
Jackson trying to create, driving on Samuelson.
On this team, number 2 pick in the draft. And Cameron, we're sending our best to you. Because she wanted to be here. And for Rakia, it's like, you're going to be an all-star.
No question, and that's what. Advantage on Wheeler. And Jackson.
She's an incredible athlete. You're a rookie, that's impressive.
Oh, Clark.
Well, let's see what LA does. I might blitz the first ball screen.
Sims into hole, and on the drive, turns the corner and gets to the rim.
Pads over the thigh pads.
Well, we've seen that speed be such an break. Smith going one-on-one.
Attesters out of that play.
Here's Stevens. Shooting teams in the league.
she's really worked on making sure.
Stevens will try it again.
Aaliyah Boston getting away.
She's finding some room to work down there. Not on a regular roster deal, Seals, but not a full-time gig. She's able to shovel it there to Stevens.
Back to it here in the second.
Clark once again. Mitchell staying aggressive, flips it up. I think. Mind on the gridiron.
Penalty on the officials.
Here in the second half. The crossover, driving into Smith, leaves a shot. Clark crossing over. And this is Sims giving chase. She will. Caitlin Clark as Jackson throws up a watch for Boston. Here is Hamby on the other end, spinning, and
somebody back. We were on the same side. Look at Boston.
Competition. It's always a chess match.
I think out or a substitution. Something
to switch on to Boston, driving on Boston.
Hill gets you in isolation. Look to in Dallas.
On the drive, Clark hangs and banks it home.
Stopper.
Jackson turning on left. Trying to establish Leroux to hoist from way outside. And on 16 points here so far. There is Clark launching.
Mismatch for Azurá Stevens. It's a really much space to snake behind. You put a lot of pressure.
Drops it for Smith. The other end, Nurse is open. Minutes with Caitlin Clark now in the mix. And wheel-based decision for Christie Sides. Extra pass. It's Indiana back up 5, and Clark trying to answer. You bet. Break out of that here as Sims on the drop.
They like to run for Kelsey Mitchell.
Nurse weaving her way inside and is called.
Try to force some slippage, but
Boston back for Clark. Let the feeps it over to Burrell, who's open. Close out the third. But it's minutes here today. Dantas fading, firing.
Action's tough to guard. What a take by Burrell.
Driving on Burrell, hangs and can't.
Guarded by Mitchell and Clark.
And Sparks have just not gone away. They've had Boston spinning inside.
Nobody in the league runs.
Clark lobbing inside. Oh, difficult.
Clark have done the bulk of the scoring. Her ability to run the floor, play one-on-one.
Beaver hit with a moving screen. Frustration there from Clark. Step back. Hits a throw. Going behind the back. Oh, it's. So Caitlin Clark for the most ever.
And let me correct myself. It's.
Will she get it off in time? Just does. Beaver have far more important things at hand. Hamby rolling, runs into hole. Shot two.
Lexi Hall does not need fantastic.
On the CBS Sports app or at CBS. Sims taking it right up the middle with the rebound. Oh, pretty spin. Christie Sides really. Burrell catch and shoot. Whoa, what shooter open. Mitchell, that's a deep two. Defensive end. And they lost Hamby. As a pro, comes in your 10th seat, averaging 18 points per game. That's a
remarkable run by them.
Mitchell hoists and had it.
10th assist.
Gets reinforcement.
Coach's assist. When Christie.
And Hamby right into Smith. Maybe got away with some move. Floats it up. Gets Erica Hamby. You're not battling like this.
And Erica sees it.
On the drive, Smith lays it in. Going here in the fourth quarter. Sims on the right now. Lets it fly. Oh. Her first free throw, so this stays a one to
close out games, right? And they
behind her. Here is Stevenson firing. Way in, backing in on Stevens. Earlier in the play, didn't get called for that.
That's a really good ATO by Indiana.
Of the season, and that tops. And a big. Nurse drives inside. Sims picks her pockets, and Sims.
Official that doesn't have space to see, but
has the ball under 2 minutes to go, trying to go to Fieldhouse. Mitchell will take it herself on the drop.
Their tendency for the Fever is Kelsey.
Back, here's a Boston three. This is left open. She can't get Boston. Mitchell.
Like I said earlier.
Break. Have we called her name?
17 for 25. And they hang on here. Out here. I like the strategy. Play D.
Three drives her way inside. Muscles to the. Also have a shot here if the Fever can
call timeout.
Not surprising. And it's up. It won't.
What a reaction by Kelsey.
Building. They burst out of their seats. They're 18-6. She's looking for her 8th.
In Dallas.
Sparks. Clark being watched by Nurse. Clark on the drive. Clark hangs and banks it home.
Really can't stop her.
Jackson turning on left. Trying to establish Lee Rue. Shot clock down to 5. Sims gonna have to hoist from way outside. Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, each sitting on 16 points here so far tonight. Mitchell the switch on to Lee. Here is Clark launching.
Snakes behind it, and she creates this mismatch for Azurá Stevens. It's a really, when there's that much space to snake behind, you put a lot of pressure.
Mitchell putting on the moves. Mitchell on the drive, drops it for Smith. Too strong. Sims has it on the other end. Nurse is open. Here obviously playing lesser minutes with Caitlin Clark now in the mix. And we'll go. Kind of a matchup-based decision for Christie Sides. Clark on the drive, behind the back to Boston. Extra pass. It's waving up good looks for great looks. Indiana back up 5 and
8 triples.
Clark trying to answer. You out of it, but we are starting to break out of that here as Sims on the drive.
Triple of the season.
Tonight is almost what you expect from her.
Pulling off that Iverson action, that's an action they like to run for Kelsey Mitchell.
Nurse weaving her way inside and is called.
There in the last couple of possessions, try to force some slippage by confident level to finish off the season.
Boston back for Clark. Clark's hit 3 of them. At the feet. Sims whips it over to Burrell, who's open. Defensive possessions there for the Sparks to close out the third. But Wheeler getting some extra minutes here today.
Has been better in their court action.
Dantas fading, firing. Haven't gotten a good look.
Oh, that scissor action's tough to guard. What a take by Burrell.
Split the double. Clark driving on Burrell, hangs and can't.
Uru is being guarded by Mitchell and Clark.
And Sparks have just not gone away. They've had a sink at times. Boston spinning inside.
Such a good two-man game. Nobody in the league runs.
Clark lobbing inside. Oh, difficult.
Points up because Mitchell and Clark have done the bulk of the scoring. Just the value that Aaliyah Boston brings and her ability to run the floor, play one-on-one to that high post area.
Beaver hit with a moving screen, but lately in the backcourt. A little frustration there from Clark.
Because she can get a bucket on anybody.
Clark, step back, hits a three. Here comes Clark going the other way. Clark going behind the back. Oh, it's better. So Caitlin Clark, which ties Breanna Stewart for the most ever of her recent games.
And let me correct myself. It's
with a shot clock down to 2. Nurse, will she get it off in time? Just does. Rebound shy of a triple-double. Beaver have far more important things at hand. Hamby rolling, runs into hole, shot 2.
Lexi Hall does not need seen that since the Olympic break. She's been fantastic.
You will be able to find it streaming free on the CBS Sports app or at CBS. Here comes Sims with a 3-on-2. Sims taking it right up the middle. Connect on that 3. Smith with the rebound. Oh, pretty spin.
Indiana.
Christie Sides really in need of her. Burrell catch and shoot. Whoa, wait.
Indiana overhelps and leaves the three-point shooter open.
Mitchell, that's a deep 2. Weaver Needham stops on the defensive end, and they lost Hamby. Not often your best year as a pro comes in your 10th seed-year-old De'Erica Hamby, averaging 18 points per game. That's a
ended up getting in the medal round. It was really a remarkable run by them.
Session there for Indiana. Shot clock down to 3. Mitchell hoists and had it happen.
Caitlin's looking for her 10th assist.
Gets reinforcement.
You know what? I've said this before. It's called a coach's assist. When Christie's getting the ball to the right place.
And 22 points. Burrell bouncing here for Hamby. Right into Smith. Maybe got away with Hamby attacking Boston. Spin move. Floats it up. Gets it. Maybe if you don't have a De'Erica Hamby, you're not battling like this.
Here. And Dearica sees it.
Clark, Boston. Here is Smith on the drive. Smith lays it in. Smith getting going here in the fourth quarter. Sims on the here. Now, a lot of veterans on the floor right now. Clark, the switch on to Talbot. Clark lets it fly. We were looking for win number 5 in a row. Smith off the mark on her first free throw, so this stays a 1.
Indiana has relied on their defense to close out games, right? And they've
on a 3. Talbot tipped it behind her. Here is Stevenson firing. Had Mitchell there for a moment and said she'll back her way in. Backing in on Stevens. Might have been reaching around earlier in the play. Didn't get called for that.
That's a really good ATO by Indiana.
Boston with their 12th double-double of the season, and that tops. And a big for LA. Nurse drives inside on Shy, but that time turns it over. Sims picks her pockets, and Sims.
Whistle comes from the trail official that doesn't have space to see. But
what a major swing here as Indiana has the ball under 2 minutes to go, trying to go 50. Remaining here from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Deep. Mitchell will take it herself on the drop.
Baseline out of bounds. Their tendency for the Fever is Kelsey.
Mitchell whips it back. Here's a Boston 3. Cross court, Nurse is left open. She can't. Mitchell, shot clock down to 5, doesn't like it. Boston, Mitchell.
Outstanding. Like I said earlier.
How often here out of the Olympic break have we called her name? Shot.
I mean, she's been 17 for 25 in the first 20 days of the season. And they hang on here. Kurt Miller electing not to foul here. I like the strategy. Play D.
Boston, shot clock down to 3. Drives her way inside. Muscles to the.
And she does have one already.
Also have a shot here if the Fever can.
Indiana not electing to call timeout.
WNBA. Not surprising. Management of the ball, no huddle.
Same play.
It's up. It won't.
Oh, it's a triple-double for Caitlin. What a reaction by Kelsey.
How about the knowledgeable fans in this building? They burst out of their seats at break. They're 18 and 16.